Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. In the past year, I've lived 1/3 of the time out of a suitcase, and through this process I've learned a lot about what I need, what I don't need, what are my must-haves, but also the question of what do I need to feel comfortable, to feel at peace. During this process I have misjudged items. There were things I thought I needed but then didn't even touch, but then there were things I thought were absolutely a luxury, but in the end I was really craving that item. And throughout this whole experience or experiment, you could call it, I found that I need far less to be comfortable, to live, than I thought I did. When I'm surrounded by all my stuff and I'm trying to declutter, I pick something up, I always think, but I need this. But in the end, when you're forced to live out of a suitcase, or actually voluntarily, you realize that you don't need as much as you think you need. So here are my 12 must-haves as a minimalist, things that I just need on a day-to-day basis, or things that I need to feel comfortable, at peace, and calm. So item number 1 is my yoga mat. Now, I used to laugh at people who travel with their yoga mat, who said that that was their must-have or something that was absolutely essential, but I have now become that person. For me, yoga has become a part of my daily routine, and I found that when I do yoga, I feel so much more at ease in my body, but also just so much more at ease and at peace in my mind. And I definitely feel a positive difference when I do yoga. So I like to take that with me. Now, not for short vacations or anything, but if I were to live out of a suitcase, my yoga mat will definitely come with me. It has definitely become a grounding ritual that I don't want to miss in the morning. Essential number 2 is tea. Now, this is especially the case in winter, during winter times. I find that a cup of tea is very soothing and calming, and it doesn't need to be a specific type of tea, just a basic herbal tea will do the trick. And I found that no matter where I am, whether I have my stuff, don't have my stuff, am I in a foreign place or in a familiar place, a cup of tea will always kind of ground me, calm me, and that is something that I treasure a lot, feeling grounded and at home and at peace. Nextly, in my must-haves, I have my skincare routine. Now, it isn't necessarily about the skincare, but more about the routine. So especially, for example, living out of a suitcase, something that has become that I found very helpful and very important is to have a sense of routine. When everything else is a little bit new and out of the ordinary, I need something that grounds me. It's something that is familiar, that I know, and that will kind of start and finish off my day with something that is known to me and that is a form of self-care. I have traveled before for 1 or 2 months with only just one moisturizer because I thought, well, everything else is just unnecessary and a luxury, so let me just bring my moisturizer. And I mean, I survived that. My skin wasn't angry or anything, but I did find that mentally, at least, it was so much more of a up and about and not such a grounded feeling that I treasure so much, as I said. So I found that being able to keep my routine, for example, through yoga, through tea, through skincare, is something that I really treasure, especially when I'm in a foreign place and living in a foreign home. So I have added my skincare routine, and I stress the routine part of this to my must-haves. Number 4 of my must-haves are books. I just love reading. I love books. If you follow my channel along, you know that my boyfriend and I both love to read a lot, and it just is like a fun pastime. You can escape into beautiful worlds and into beautiful stories and get lost in them, and yeah, it's fun. So I will definitely always travel with at least one book, most often more than one in case I finish it prematurely. Next up, something I travel with is my migraine kit. I'm someone that gets migraines really easily, sadly, so for all of you that also have migraines, I absolutely feel your pain. It is very, very, very uncomfortable to say the least. In there I have, for one, a gua sha tool. Sometimes, not always, giving myself a gua sha down the neck and onto my shoulders really helps. But not always. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of gua sha on my temples or my head. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. I just do it where it feels very tight and tense, and sometimes, as I said, it really helps. Other times I will use a peppermint oil. They're really good for muscle relaxing or just generally relaxing. I find that if I, for example, put on my temples, the mintiness distracts me from the pain. Sometimes I will also do specific visualization meditations that at least for me, is very, very helpful. And if none of those things help, I will take a painkiller, but I'm not a big fan of taking medication. I like to do things more naturally if possible, but of course sometimes I just need that sense of relief, so I would rather take that one pain medication instead of suffering for 3 days or so in bed. So for me, my migraines are very, very disrupting when it comes to my day-to-day living, so it is definitely an essential and a must-have for me. Number 6 is my water bottle. I pretty much always am out and about with my water bottle if I know that I'll be out more than 1 or 2 hours, just because I like to keep hydrated. I've been really bad with hydration these past few months. I need to fix that. And I've also just found that if I have a glass of water, like a large glass of water, or even better, my water bottle next to me, it is a kind of a visual constant reminder of, hey, let's take a sip now, stay hydrated. Instead, if I don't have my water bottle or just some form of water close to me, then I will skip drinking just because I'm too lazy to get up and to get some water. Must-have number 7 is jewelry. Now, again, this is not necessarily a must-have in the sense of I wouldn't be able to survive without my jewelry, but I have found that especially through living out of a suitcase and you're wearing the same 5, 6 clothes over and over again, jewelry can bring this sort of the sense of excitement into your outfit, this sense of something new, and I really like to play around with jewelry, and I think it can really change an outfit and make it feel like something a little different than what you wore yesterday. So yeah, I really like to play around with accessories. They're small and very compact, and I feel like wearing jewelry, even if you're in sweats, can really pull kind of the outfit together or just make it seem more intentional and more put together. So yeah, I'm a big fan of jewelry. Number 8 is art supplies. Now, I did not think that this is a must-have for me, but through living in Florence for 2.5 months, I had a constant craving to be creative and be artsy in some way. And of course, I had my sketchbook with me, but I had this huge urge to paint. It is, I would say, my favorite form of art or being creative. And I have found that painting and creating is something that I have the urge to do a lot, or I would say that I'm a pretty creative person, and I often have this desire to release my creativity. So this time, staying in this Airbnb here, I did bring my painting supplies and I did paint already. Nextly, for my must-haves is nail polish. Again, this is a must-have. I didn't think that would be a must-have, but again, this kind of ties to the creativity part. I really love painting my nails, and I've always loved it since I was really young, and it's also a form of self-expression and creativity for me. So again, when I was in Florence for 2 to 3 months, I felt very bare and naked, and I actually ended up purchasing a nail polish just because I kept feeling like I want to, I don't know, express myself in that way. For some reason, it is more of a mental necessity than necessarily a physical necessity, but I have definitely learned that apparently nail polish and being able to paint my nails and express myself in that way is something that is really important to me. Nextly, my must-have is a cozy blanket. This ties to the feeling at home and grounded and secure and at peace part of me, and having a cozy blanket to cozy up with in the evening when I'm reading or when we're watching something is kind of a necessity for me. Again, in Florence, we didn't have this. I didn't think to bring a blanket. I mean, who brings a blanket when they travel? But this time here in this Airbnb, we did bring our kind of like a small compact fleece blanket, and it's made such a big difference. I feel so cozied and at peace and snuggled and just calmer when I have something to wrap around to cocoon myself in, and I found that apparently blankets are a must-have for me. My next must-have is indoor slippers. We don't wear our shoes indoors. I don't know how common that is, but we do have indoor slippers, or Hausschuhe in Germany. And it is, again, something that makes it feel more homey. Slippers make you feel like you're at home, like this is your home. It's cozy. It's kind of like a blanket for your feet. So yeah, house slippers is something that I would bring along when I'm traveling, at least when I'm traveling for long terms, and it's especially a necessity during the winter times. And last but not least, necessity number 12 is music. Music is something I really enjoy. I love listening to different types of music, and I feel like music can really lighten your mood and make you feel better if you're not feeling too great, but it can also really just accompany your mood and the situation. I believe that music has a big power, or it is very, or can be very powerful. And I also like to have little dance parties to release some serotonin, to get your blood flowing and blood pumping. You only have to do this for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but it's so much fun. It lifts your mood instantly, and I really believe in kind of the therapy of dancing. I think it's really good mentally, psychologically, for I think everyone. I mean, you don't have to be a good dancer. I'm really bad at dancing. All you have to do is just flail your arms around to the music, and that will count as dancing, at least when it comes to these serotonins and getting your blood flowing. So if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend dancing to music to lighten up your mood, to lift your mood. So these are my must-haves as a minimalist. I found it very interesting to sit down and think about what my must-haves are. And granted, in this past year, I had a lot of opportunities where I had to live out of a suitcase, and that was very eye-opening, kind of like a little experiment. I got to find out what I need, what I don't need, what is important to me, and I definitely found that the sense of home, the sense of comfort is very important to me. But then also, on the other hand, the sense of being able to release my creativity is also really important to me. So things I didn't know about myself. I encourage you to maybe think about things that are your must-haves. A lot of the times it can be very surprising what end up being our must-haves, but also what we think we need, but we end up not needing. I'm convinced we all don't need as much as we have. I definitely still have a lot of stuff I don't necessarily need, and I'm still on the constant journey of owning less and living with less. It has been very liberating and fun so far, and also very eye-opening when it comes to just getting in tune with yourself and thinking about what you need, what's important to you, what are your values. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me in the comments down below one of your must-haves. It'd be really interesting. I feel like it says a lot about a person, what their must-haves are. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.